So one of my mates and I were actually talking about what is stopping the Cleveland Cavaliers from winning a championship, because he is a big OKC fan and he is very optimistic that the Cavaliers actually have a chance to go a long way. And as you guys know, as a Cleveland Cavalier fan myself, that was like hearing Lana Rhoades orgasm in my ear. It was fucking beautiful. But in saying all of that, we did get to talking, and I think one of the big issues that we both legitimately see is this I don't like how it looks like I've got like a fucking receding ass hairline. What the hell? Because I don't. My hair's just all over the place. There we go. We'll get the Justin Bieber in. That looks a tiny bit better. Not really, but fuck it, will do. We got to talking, and the thing that we both outline is that the Cleveland Cavaliers need a new starting small forward. And we raised a couple of names, and I mentioned Jay Crowder as a possible one, but then I was the one that actually kind of contradicted what I said and said, I don't think Jay Crowder will actually work, because Jay Crowder doesn't seem like the guy who's going to fit into this culture or organization very well. He didn't last time, and we know he's a guy that gets his way, and if it's not his way, then he will leave the team and whatnot. I don't think he'd like it on the Cavaliers, so I kind of ruled him out. Sadiq Bey's one that I've heard, but you'd have to give up too much, and we don't really have a first-round pick to kind of give up to get him. There's been a couple other dudes like PJ Washington, who the Hornets really don't want to extend reportedly, and could be willing to trade him for a role player or two in a couple seconds and whatnot. But then there was one that I genuinely thought would kind of be pretty cool. Actually, a player that he suggested, my friend, that he gave solid reasons to why this player would actually be very good for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and that was, of course, Robert Covington. Now, I don't think it's been necessarily reported anywhere at the time making this video that the Cavaliers are super interested in him. I have heard talk about that, saying he's a possible Cavaliers trade opportunity, and there's been a couple other people here and there who have mentioned it. So are the Cleveland Cavaliers interested in Robert Covington? I think yes, it's pretty obvious he will 100% be an option on their trade target list for the upcoming deadline. But right now, Robert Covington sits in a really weird spot where it's like, he's not necessarily getting played that much, I don't think, on the LA Clippers. Like, if I go and check my phone right now and I actually go and check the stats and what Robert Covington has actually been producing, he hasn't had a lot of opportunity, because the Los Angeles Clippers are legitimately stacked with wings and forwards. Like, literally stacked. Right now, at the time making this video, Robert Covington is only playing 15 minutes per night, where he's averaging 5.2 points per game, 3.5 rebounds, and only shooting 30% from 3. The year before that, though, he was averaging nearly 9 points per game, 5.5 rebounds on 38% from 3. A year before that, it was similar numbers, and the year before that, when he had an actual guaranteed spot in the starting 5, it was like 12.5 points per game. This guy usually always plays good defense and is always like on the 38% from 3 type of range, and I feel like he kind of brings in what the Cavaliers are really desperately needing, is a 3-and-D dude at small forward, like a guy who can probably guard a LeBron James and whatnot. They can also shoot threes. That's what I think I'm looking for if I was the Cleveland Cavaliers GM. And Lars Stevens and I think Isaac Okoro are clearly not those guys, because they're just not good shooters. Stevens can defend a LeBron sometimes, but not consistently, like maybe Covington might be able to. Even though he's done a pretty good job, like, credit to Lamar Stevens, he's had a really good year, and I really like him as a player. And then Okoro is the one I don't like as much as a player, because he hasn't produced as much as I wanted him to. I just can't shoot threes still, and he's in his 3rd season, he still can't shoot. It's really upsetting, it's really disappointing, and I won't say this guy's got bust potential, because I think on a young team and whatnot, where he actually gets the ball a lot more, this dude could average like 12 points per game and be a very good and solid defender. So definitely nowhere near bust potential. It's just, yeah, Cavaliers need to sort something out with Isaac Okoro. But when it comes to the deadline, I think the Cavaliers need to go and get a new small forward. And even though Dean Wade could possibly do what I want him to do, you can't rely on Dean Wade to, again, go and guard those LeBrons and all those type of players, right? A dude like Robert Covington you can bring into the team, and he might average you 38% from 3. while also being, putting up maybe 9 points per game and playing good defense, right? That's what Robert Covington has in him. He's also, I think, only 31 or 32, so he's still got a couple years left to grind, and he's on a friendly contract. I believe Robert Covington's only on like $11 million or so, which we can probably match. I think if the Cavaliers did approach, the Clippers, we could get a deal done. You'd always go the option where Cavs say, we'll give you Cedi Osman and Dylan Windler, and you give us, Robert Covington in 2 seconds, right? That gets the job done. Trade makes sense. It's just that I don't think the Clippers would necessarily accept that because that's 2 extra wings. I think they'd only be looking to take on 1, if anything. Another trade which would make sense, I don't know if the salaries match up though, but could make sense, is a Lamar Stevens, Dylan Windler, and 2 second-round picks, or 1 second-round pick for Robert Covington. You'd think the Clippers would accept that, considering they could just waive Windler. You bring in a second or 2, and then Lamar Stevens, quite literally, could be argued is better than Robert Covington right now. It's just that he doesn't really fit what the Cavaliers need as much as what Robert Covington might do. So I think this trade makes sense for both teams. If you're the Clippers, you are getting rid of a player you're not really playing, and you can bring back a couple seconds in doing so and continue to keep a good role player or 2. If not, you could also bring in Cedi Osman, who I think would be a much bigger upgrade for them. Does he fit their team more than what Robert Covington does? Probably. Does Robert Covington fit our team more than what Cedi Osman does? Probably as well. There's a lot going into this, and I actually think Robert Covington could be a really nice player to go out and get. I just wouldn't recommend going and getting him if the Cleveland Cavaliers think that his best basketball is maybe behind him. If they think he can come out and have a 15-point per night type of night, right? If he can do that every now and then, but he can consistently average like 8 per game and shoot 38% from 3, then go and bring him in. Right now he's only averaging 31%, but I also think that might be because he has limited opportunity and hasn't really meshed well with what they're probably trying to do. So again, with the Cavaliers, you could definitely, I think, go about maybe trying to get Robert Covington to the team. But of course, if you haven't already, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Comment your thoughts and opinions down below. Do you guys think the Cleveland Cavaliers should, of course, be trying to trade for Robert Covington, or do you guys not? Of course, I would definitely like to know. Of course, don't forget to subscribe to my iRoll/Flume channel and my gaming channel and my podcast as well. But again, most importantly, comment your thoughts and opinions down on this trade. I'd very much like to know. But as I was saying, without anything else kind of going on, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.